It's actually the field that's emitting reality. So when we do our meditations and we do this formula, and I believe there's infinite ways to do this. I don't believe that there's a right or wrong way to do this, or that this is the only formula. So what it is it's getting into an altered state of consciousness. It's entering what's called brain and heart coherence, which creates a strong Wi-Fi signal. And there's a whole institute that studies this brain and heart coherence, and they are called the Heart Math Institute. And they've spent over 20 years studying the brain and heart connection. So we're going to get into this brain and heart coherence and start broadcasting, visualizing a crystal clear intention combined with these elevated emotions in a state of brain and heart coherence. And it's the coherence of you that creates change in the field in these altered brainwave states. So we're going to go through the whole practice today. So I'm really excited. Yesterday, if you missed yesterday, definitely catch the replay. Definitely go back. And if you're joining me on Facebook right now, so we're also live streaming on Facebook right now, let me know in the comments if my sound is okay, if my sound is clear, you can hear me good. Let me know if you can see me. And then type in the comments, what are you looking to get out of today's masterclass? So yesterday was all about, it was a lot about the breath yesterday and the energy centers and using the breath to unblock the energy centers. And then we went into different brain waves, how to use different brain waves. And then today we're going to talk about activating the pineal gland. We're also going to talk a little bit more on brain and heart coherence. And then we're going to talk about how to really create change in the field. And then we're going to go right into the exercise. So let me know, what do you want to get out of today's session? Jackie was on yesterday's. Hi, Jackie. Jackie says, super exciting. Yes. So you can get the replay in the Facebook group or on my YouTube channel. I also sent out the replay in email, via email. So if you're on the email list, it's in your email. Definitely check the spam and the junk folders because sometimes it lands there. So it's in your email. It's on YouTube. It's at Andrea Lang Teacher on YouTube. And then it's also in our Facebook group. So it's in the Manifesting Miracles Facebook group. So Teresa says to learn how to connect and be more in tune. Also, will this be recovered? Yes, this will be recorded. Yes, have to leave at 2:30 for an appointment. Okay, yes. Yeah, this is recorded. So recording this one now. So you can come back and go through the whole thing again. So let's chat about how. We're also going to chat about holding an intention as well. So first, let's chat about brain and heart coherence, because there's a few things here, right? And this is like learning how to ride a bike. That's what this is. It's like learning how to ride a bike. So it's not just pedaling, right? It's not just steering the bike. It's not just balancing the bike. It's not just the speed of the bike. In order to ride a bike, you have to do all those things. You have to pedal the bike. You have to steer the bike. You have to balance the bike. You have to get the speed of the bike. Otherwise, you're going to fall over. So you have to do all these things, and it's got to come from a place of non-thinking. Because if you observe riding a bike, how do you teach somebody how to ride a bike? how do you teach somebody how to ride a bike? Well, when I was growing up and learning how to ride a bike, I was put on the bike and I had somebody holding the bike for me. It was my dad. So my dad was holding the bike for me, and my dad was running down the street with me holding the bike, and I was having a panic attack on the bike, like freaking out. And then he would let me go, and I would go a little bit and then I would fall. And we did this process together probably for 2 or 3 days. That's how it was. So for 2 or 3 days, for a few hours each day, we would do this process where he would hold the bike, he would run down the street, and then he would let it go. And I would, like, little by little be able to just get like a little better at it each time. And eventually what happened, and I remember this like it was yesterday, eventually what happened is he let go of the bike and I just kept going. I didn't fall. I was riding. I was cruising. I did not fall. I was riding the bike. And then I remember, I want to say that he caught me. So I rode the bike. I did like some circles, and then he came back and he held the bike for me again, and I got off. But I didn't fall. I didn't fall off the bike. So there's a point here in this work where you just start riding the bike. There's no more thinking about it. There's no more wondering if you're doing it right, wondering what brainwave you're in, wondering if you're really unblocking your energy centers, wondering if you're connected to the field, wondering if you're getting any kind of results, if this is really working. Is like, am I really doing this? Like, what's happening? Nothing's showing up. So there's a point where all of that goes away and you just start riding the bike. And my intention for you is to be the person who holds the bike for you in the beginning. And eventually what's going to happen here is I'm going to let go of the bike and you're just going to ride. You're just going to be riding the bike. So that's my intention for you with this masterclass, and with really my entire social media right now. My entire focus is to hold the bike for you and be that person who lets it go, and you just ride. You just go. You know how to go create, you know how to call something in, you know how to heal your body, you know what you need to do to make this happen, you know what you need to do for this to come in, you know how to dissolve something that's no longer serving you, you know how to call in things that you want to experience, all through the energetics way of being. No longer having to go through life as a human doing. Now you're able to go through life as a human being, because ultimately what we're getting in life is what we're being in life. That's ultimately, if I had to sum all this work up in one sentence, this whole work is about who am I being moment to moment. Because who I'm being moment to moment is actually what's creating the timeline that I'm experiencing. Because there are infinite timelines, there are infinite parallel universes, and who I'm being, so my thinking, feeling, thinking state is my being. So how I'm thinking and how I'm feeling is who I'm being. And this is creating this electromagnetic field around my body, this aura. And it's that field, it's the field that's emitting matter. It's not matter that's emitting the field. It's the field, it's my field that's emitting matter. So I am 100% responsible for everything that is or is not in my reality. There's nobody else here to blame but me, because ultimately it's me that's creating the field with my state of being. So let me know if that resonates. Type in the comments. Does that resonate with you? How does that sound? Let me know if that resonates. Okay, so Jackie says completely resonates. Teresa says, yes, it does. Awesome. So yeah, Sabrina says, I love the bike example. That's like the easiest way for me to explain it is there's nothing special. There's nothing really mystical or special, or it's really just a practice. It's a skill. And if you look at all these mystics, these sages, these saints, and you really do the research on them and you look at their history, these people, they did the work. These people, they sat in meditation for hours. They did all these different exercises and these different things. And it's within all of us. It's within each and every single one of us. There's nothing special going on here. It's really just, am I willing to show up consistently? Am I willing to put the reps in? And am I willing to do the work to grow these muscles, to strengthen my abilities, and to really step in to who I really am? That's ultimately what's going on here. All right, so let's chat about brain and heart coherence for a moment. So brain and heart coherence is when we synchronize our heart with our brain. There's something really cool from the Heart Math Institute. It's called an HRV monitor. It's a heart rate variable monitor, or heart rate variance monitor, HRV monitor. And what this monitor does is it clips on your ear and it clips on your shirt. It tells you the coherence of your heart and brain. So I've had mine now for probably about 4 years now. I've had three over the past 4 years. And the cool thing about this is it beeps when you're in coherence, when you're in a coherent state, and it beeps when you're out of coherence. So it beeps different tones to let you know where you are as far as coherence goes. And what the Heart Math Institute has studied and is still studying is that when the heart and brain are in sync, when the heart and brain are synchronized, so the heart is beating in a very coherent rhythm, and it's the heart that's in communication with the brain. There's 60,000 more connections to the heart, to the brain, than there is from the brain to the heart. So there's over 60,000 more connections to the heart, from the heart to the brain, than there is from the brain to the heart. So ultimately, if we look at this, it's really always going to come down to the heart. The heart is the real leader with our bodies. And the heart is over 100,000 times stronger electrically, 100,000 times stronger electrically, and 5,000 times stronger magnetically than the brain. Just let that land for a moment. That these are massive differences here. So 100,000 times stronger electrically, 5,000 times stronger magnetically, around 60,000 more connections to the heart to the brain than there is from the brain to the heart. And your heart has what's called neurites in it, which are like neurons. So the heart is a brain. The heart is a brain. It can make decisions. It holds memory, but it speaks differently than your analytical mind. It's a completely different language. So the brain and the body speak two different languages. And remember, it's the body that is the subconscious mind creating over 95% of reality. So if we looking at all these different numbers, which one's really in charge? Is it the heart in charge or is it the brain in charge? If we look at this data, in my opinion, it's really the heart that's in charge. And if we go a little bit further here and look at different research, different data, there's a study that shows on Mondays, that's when heart attacks go up the most, is on Mondays. So on Mondays, people have the most heart attacks. And my observation here is with all this data, if it appears that the heart is really in charge here. And if we're living out of sync with our heart, if I'm living out of sync in an incoherent way that's not in coherence with my heart, so I'm not doing my purpose work, or there's something going on with my relationships, or there's something with my health, but I really desire this, but there's something that's incoherent, out of alignment, something with authenticity. Whenever we're misaligned from our heart's desire, it actually throws the heart off. So if my heart's desire is to go do my purpose work and help people with meditation, but I'm welding, and this was my previous job. I'm in this apprenticeship for welding. Cool job. It was underwater welding. Very cool. But it wasn't in alignment with my heart. Didn't light me up. It didn't excite me. I wasn't like scratching to get to the next welding job or eager to get to the next welding job. It didn't fulfill me at the level that I came here to be fulfilled at. And I could feel it in my body. And we all deep down inside, we can feel it. Feel it. You can feel when something is not in alignment. You can feel when something is off. You can feel when something is not in coherence with your heart. And that's your heart speaking to you. Your heart speaks to you in feelings. Feelings. Your brain, your analytical mind, speaks to you in chatter. Chatter. It's a running voice. It's a chatter. It's a nonstop dialogue. It's a constant cool chatter to the future or to the past with the analytical mind. And this is called the ego. The ego. The false self. There's nothing bad or wrong with the ego. It's not the authentic self. It's a self that has been developed to protect you, to keep you safe, to protect you. And that's great. That's beautiful. And at the same time, this work is about allowing your heart to be the leader in your life, and the analytical mind, the ego, to be in the back seat. Because once the analytical mind is in the front seat and the heart is in the back seat, that's when we see things like disease. That's when we see things like breakdown, burnout. That's when we see things that, all these different things that we see insanity, things that don't make sense, that the world has gone insane. That's where all this comes from. There's deep wisdom within your heart that the brain cannot understand. The analytical mind thinks in future and it thinks in past. To truly be present, there is no thinking. There's only being. And the deep wisdom within can only arise from presence, cannot arise from futurizing or living in the past. So these deep wisdom, these deep knowings only arise from within. So how we'll go into brain and heart coherence, it's very simple. It's very easy. It's taking long, slow, deep inhales through the heart, about 5 seconds in through the heart, and then 5 seconds on the exhale. It's super, super simple. So it's 5-second inhale through the heart, 5-second exhale. And at the same time, you're breathing in an elevated emotion. So you're imagining that there's a nose on your heart and that you're breathing in through that center. You're breathing in through your heart space and you're breathing in gratitude. You're breathing in appreciation. You're breathing in love. You're breathing in an elevated emotion, elevated gratitude, appreciation, love, bliss. And what happens is the heart will start to beat very coherently. And the heart starts sending signals to the brain. And the brain is responding to the heart. So all of a sudden, the brain starts to become in sync with the heart. So now the brain waves are synchronized with the heart waves because there's a electromagnetic field that begins to grow around the heart. And this can be measured up to, I want to say it's 8 meters wide, this field around the heart. Or maybe it's 8 feet wide. They can measure it. Now, what this is producing is a very coherent signal. Okay, now there's this signal that's being produced from you, that's being emitted from you, this field. The theory is that you can take a thought and lay it on this signal. So as you're in brain and heart coherence and you start visualizing you with your lover, right? So you start visualizing you in your purpose work or maybe it's your lover, your purpose work, your healing, whatever your heart's desire is, you're visualizing that version of you, right? So you see yourself. For me, it was visualizing myself helping people. So I saw people in front of me and I saw them coming up to me. I saw them hugging me. I saw them thanking me. And I also saw myself very fit. I saw myself healthy. I felt my body. I felt like strong, confident, exuberant, grateful, appreciative. So you're visualizing your future self, whatever that is or whatever that looks like for you, in a state of brain and heart coherence. You're holding the intention. And what's happening is the body starts to produce all these different chemicals from you having a new experience. So you're having this experience of gratitude, appreciation. You're visualizing, you're in it. You're in that timeline. You're there. You're feeling it in every cell of your body. You are it. And the body is being flooded with all these different love chemicals, these different love hormones, oxytocin, dopamine, all these different chemicals. And what's happening is the body is starting to change. So the cell receptor sites start modifying themselves, and the body starts becoming conditioned to this new version of you. The vagus nerve starts to tone. So you create what's called a strong vagal tone. And you're biologically becoming someone different. Now, there's something else really, really exciting about this. You can also achieve something called a brain and heart orgasm. And if you're not familiar with what that is, Greg Braden talks a lot about the brain and heart orgasm, the Heart Math Institute, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton. So it's an arousal of the heart and the brain, but it's not sexual. It's not a sexual thing. It's an internal arousal. So there's so much energy that builds up in the heart and the brain that the brain goes into what's called gamma brainwaves. Gamma brainwaves are the same brainwaves that the Tibetan monks speak about. And the gamma brainwave is known as the unifying wave. So the Tibetan monks call this brainwave the unifying wave. And I'm sure you've seen the Buddha statues where he's got like this smile and he's like in pure bliss. He's in pure ecstasy. The Tibetan monks speak of this ecstasy, this bliss, this oneness with everything, this connection to all, this wholeness with everything. Well, this is the gamma brainwave. And what's happening with the brain and the heart is the brain and the heart, there's like a rush of energy that's going from the heart to the brain. And it's so much energy that it puts the brain in these extreme gamma brain waves. And the amount of energy that's coming from the person is something that scientists didn't even know was possible. And this is all very new research. This is all very new science that's coming out. But Dr. Joe Dispenza speaks about people being in this gamma brainwave. They're 100 times outside of normal, 100 times outside of normal in these gamma brainwaves. So when the person comes back, all of a sudden they've had an experience that's transcendental. They've had a transcendental experience. And when they come back, they're completely different because they've had a major frequency upgrade. A major frequency upgrade. It's imagine putting your finger in a light switch and there's so much energy going through your entire body that you're just you're never the same after that. The brain and body go through this frequency upgrade, and the person is completely different when they come back. A lot of people call this a Kundalini awakening. Kundalini awakening is what the yogis call it. So the scientists call it the brain and heart orgasm. The monks, the Tibetan monks, the gamma brainwave, they speak of the gamma brainwave, the wholeness, oneness, connection with everything. There's all different kinds of words for this. But ultimately, if you practice, if you're diligent, if you're consistent, anybody can do this. Anybody can experience this. Anybody can have this Kundalini awakening or brain and heart orgasm, gamma brainwaves, whatever you want to call it, and get a real frequency upgrade. And really, you'll never be the same again after these transcendental experiences. There's also something else that I wanted to share, and it's activating the pineal gland. So there's a specific breath that you can do to activate the pineal gland. And it's pumping. It's a pumping breath. And I've shared about this on my social media, and I've done a reel on this. We'll go and we'll do it today. We'll actually do it today. What's happening with this third eye activating breath is you're using your body to draw cerebral spinal fluid along the back of the spine. You're drawing it up, and you're using the breath. You're bringing it all the way to the top of the head, and you can actually pump or push the pineal gland with the breath by using this internal pressure. The yogis call it bandha locks. So you lock your lower abdominal wall, you lock your upper abdominal wall, and this locks the energy into the heart. So it locks the energy into the heart. And then from there, you can pump the perineum, which is the muscle that is responsible for going to the bathroom. So when you pee, and then you stop your pee, you pee, then you stop your pee, you stop your pee, Kegels, that's the perineum. So you hold that up and you can pump that. And what it does is it starts to apply internal pressure to the pineal gland. And it's this internal pressure that activates the calcite crystals in the pineal gland. And there's a whole big paper on this. There's a scientist that did this big research paper on this. I can't remember the exact name of the scientist, but you can Google this and find it for yourself, this research paper. What he found is that when the calcite crystals are compressed in the pineal gland, is it creates what's called a piezoelectric effect. And the pineal gland turns into a transducer, becomes a transducer, which means it can pick up higher frequencies. So you can pick up higher frequencies, higher multidimensional experiences, and receive these transcendental moments. And the third eye, through a series of processes, produces DMT. So DMT is actually naturally produced in our own brains with our pineal glands, and you can experience these transcendental moments. I'm not going to go too deep into it for the sake of time, and we're not going to go into all the science about all of this right now, but we will do that breath today. We will do that pineal gland breath today to activate it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Just deep breathing actually starts to compress the pineal gland. Deep belly breathing compresses the pineal gland. The pumping is just a way to apply more pressure to the pineal gland. So the pumping is just a tool to apply more pressure to the pineal gland to activate it. But just deep breathing actually compresses the pineal gland. So if you want to do that, awesome. If you don't, that's fine. We're going to start with the breath. You can do the deep breathing. Just don't do the pumping part if you don't want to do it. You can do the deep breathing part with us. Then we will go into the actual meditation after the breath work, and we'll go into the entire process. So that covers everything that I wanted to share before we start the practice. Is there anything else is there any questions or anything else before we begin? Type it in the chat. And if you're on Facebook Live, type it in the comments and I'll answer it before we begin. We are going to play sound and we can't do that on Facebook Live. So if you would like to join us in the actual sound part of the meditation, jump on Zoom. I'll post the Zoom link in the comments section now. And then we'll get started with the breath and we'll go right into the whole practice. So Sabrina says, which app do you use for the HRV? How do you get the beeping noise? So I use the Inner Balance. I think it's called Inner Balance. Yeah, so I'm looking at it right now on my phone. So it's called Inner Balance. And I'll pull it up here real quick. So it looks like this on my phone. So that's what it looks like. And it's called Inner Balance. And you should be able to download that right from the App Store. And then Sabrina, if you want the beeping noise, you go into the settings part and you turn on the sound. So we have Orenthal says, Andrea, are you able to achieve heart brain orgasm state anytime you desire it? So do you mean me personally or like anybody? Because anybody can, everybody can do this. So yes, you, so me personally. So it's a bit of a practice. So how I do it personally is so when you're with a lover, when you're with a passionate lover, and I feel like we can all relate to this in some way, like your first real love. I feel like we can all remember our first real love where you were like really giddy, you were excited, and you were just in the moment, right? With your first real love, you were just in the moment and you were not attached to any outcomes. Can you guys relate to that? Like where you were, can you remember? You ever experienced your first love? You were just happy to be in their presence. You were just so giddy. You were just so excited in the moment that you weren't thinking about what are we going to do next? Are we going to are we going to go to the bedroom and make it happen? You weren't thinking at all. There's no thinking. So how I personally do it, how I personally do this in my own practices, I practice twice a day currently, morning and evening, and I'm not perfect. So there are those rare occasions where I do it once a day. So I'm definitely not perfect by any means. But but I'm very consistent. I'm very, very, very consistent. And so I try to stay as consistent as possible with the 2 a days. And I used to do 3 times a day, but right now I'm doing 2 a day because I feel that that's what I need in this moment. So if I did need 3 intuitively, I would go back to 3. So how I do it is when I show up, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm not trying to have the brain and heart orgasm. I'm not trying to get into gamma. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm showing up because I'm giddy and excited and in love with the actual practice, with the actual process, with going through the actual practice process, the journey. And what I've found is that me showing, the more detached I can show up, the more detached from any outcome whatsoever. I can show up and just be more in love and embodied and just blissed out to be there. And this could just be me walking in nature. It doesn't have to be a seated meditation. And the more I can surrender into this deep, deep, deep inner peace, this deep, there's a deep ecstasy within us that you can tap into, tune into, this deep enjoyment, this deep inner peace. Then I can get into these altered states of consciousness. So I can give myself these different transcendental experiences. Not every time. I can't do it every time. There are some times where it's just not there. Sometimes I sit down and I'm just, it just is what it is. But most of the time, I can get there. Most of the time I can get there. Now, if I try to get there, then I can't get there. So I've got to show up. It's got to be a complete, surrendered, relaxed, no attachment, no trying, nothing like that. And then I can get there. Yeah, so Sabrina says, perfect, thank you. I have been using the global coherence one. Yours sounds more helpful. You're welcome, Sabrina. Sabrina says, are a meditative state and coherence similar? Yes, yes, they are, Sabrina. So you have to be in a meditative state. And when I say meditative state, I just mean you have to not be thinking. That's all I mean. You can't be thinking. When you're thinking, it puts you out of coherence. And even if you start thinking positive, so even if you're thinking the self chatter, so once you start entertaining that self chatter, even if the self chatter is positive, it will eventually go negative. So the practice is to stay out of self chatter, to stay out of thinking, and to learn. It's a different way of living. So the practice is to go from thinking our way through life to being in life, being in life, and allowing the wisdom, the deep knowings within to guide, lead, and direct us in life. So that's the practice. So how do we do that? You want to stay connected to your breath when you're out walking around, when you're talking to people. You can listen to the space in between their words. And really what you're doing is you're becoming more present. So you're stepping out of the constant mind chatter, and you're going into a deeper state of presence. And all this, the wisdom, the knowings, the insights start to arise from within. And you're following those insights. You're following your intuition. You're following your intuition. You're following your deep knowings. You're following the wisdom within you. And it's going to lead you right to your heart's desire. Because your brain will never lead you there. The analytical mind will never. It's a great tool. It's a great tool, right? But if it's the leader, it's going to lead you right into anxiety. It's going to lead you right into overwhelm. It's going to lead you right into confusion. It's going to lead you right into despair, depression. So we always keep the analytical mind as a tool to the leader, which is the heart. So you're staying in heart coherence throughout your waking day which means you're staying connected to your breath and you're staying in a meditative state, which is your natural state, peace, throughout your waking day. So it's the thought comes, you're releasing it. The thought comes, you're releasing it. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be more in your future self energy more than you are not. So you can see synchronicities, divine timing, divine alignment, things like this. Orenthal says that makes perfect sense. Yes, yes, yes. And there's different layers to that. There's different layers to it. Just like a regular orgasm, there's like different layers or levels, right? This is the exact same thing. There's different levels to gamma brain waves. There's different levels to the intensity of the energy. So, my best advice here is just have fun with this. Get excited because it's going to change your life when you no longer need something outside of you to give you the amount of love. You're going to experience more love than you could ever even possibly imagine. And you will need nothing outside of you when you experience these transcendental moments. So Jackie says, that's the part I struggle with. My mind starts thinking during meditation. Yes, Jackie. So that's the biggest thing is we want to be able to, it's like riding a bike. So what I personally recommend for this is look at your process on what are you doing before the meditation? What's going on with the breath work? Because just that one piece right there, the breath work before meditation will help tremendously. And then showing up every single day, not missing a day. If you miss a day, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Don't judge yourself. Jump right back into it the next day. But it's really it's like reining in a wild stallion. It's like reining in a wild horse. Or it's like pruning a garden that's been run over by weeds because it hasn't been attended for many, maybe even for a whole lifetime. So in the very beginning, it's like crazy, right? It's like all these, it's wild. It's like out of control. So that's why I've developed a real structure here, especially with the breath work in the very beginning, because the breath work is going to change your entire experience with this, because it's going to release a lot of trapped emotions, a lot of trapped energy that's causing the thoughts, because it's the body that's craving chemicals and hormones because it's been conditioned into a way of being. So if you're kind of just already anxious, or if you're kind of just already a little stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, well, the minute you sit down and all of a sudden you want to enter a state of peace, the body is going to start going through withdrawals because it's not getting those chemicals that come with all these thoughts. So the thoughts will get louder. The thoughts will sometimes be even overpowering. So what I've observed is if I can take somebody through a vigorous breathwork practice and release a lot of this stored energy in the body before we get to the meditation part, that person will drop right into an alpha brainwave because they've released so much energy that their body just naturally relaxes. the parasympathetic nervous system turns on. Their body naturally goes into a relax and rest state, and the brain waves start to slow, and then they can start to really make some change here in the field because they're accessing the right state of being. They're in the right brain waves. They're connected as opposed to just in their mind the whole time, stuck in a beta brainwave. Does that help? Let me know if that helps. All right, so go ahead and sit up nice and tall. So Jackie says, yes, helpful. Makes so much sense. Yes. So sit up nice and tall. And I want you to deep inhale. Now, we're not going to go into a full-on breath work. I just want to make this clear. We're not going to go into a full-on breath work session today to release a lot of this, to release trapped emotions. But what we are going to do is we are going to activate the pineal gland, and we are going to start to move some energy and unblock the energy centers. So if you're looking for that, join us in my higher level support. So join us in my meditation boot camp. And that's where we really go deep into each piece of this process. And we release trapped emotions. We do the breath work. We break down every single piece and we go real deep into each one so that you hit every single piece of this and you start to really master this. So sit up nice and tall. And I want you to start deep breathing from the base of your spine, pulling just like you would pull through a straw when you sip or suck through a straw. It's the same thing. You're going to, with your awareness, with your breath and your attention, you're going to pull from the first energy center. So right through the perineum, right through that first base of the spine, pulling through the first energy center, through the second energy center, the third energy center. You're going to pull right through the heart, the fourth energy center, traveling along the back of the spine, pulling through the throat, through the brain, sixth center. You're going to pull right through that seventh center, through the top of the head. You're going to hold your breath at the top of the head. Exhale, you're going to blow all the air out of your nose. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle on the exhale. This little bit of a wiggle helps process emotions, helps release trapped, stuck energy. And we're going to go right back into the breath. So we're doing what's called a circular breath, meaning there's no pauses. So you go right back in, inhaling through the first center, through the second center, third center, fourth center, just like you're sipping through a straw. Fifth, through the throat. Sixth, through the brain. Seventh, center. Hold at the top of the head. Exhale, sinking deeper into the body on the exhale. Just notice yourself coming into your body. Notice the energy coming into your body on the exhale. A little bit of a movement back and forth. Inhale again, right through the base of the spine. This time we're going to pull the perineum up. So inhale, right through the base of the spine, pull the perineum up. Hold it up as you pull and inhale through the second center, third center, through the heart, through the throat, through the brain. Hold it at the top of the head. Holding the perineum up the whole time. Sense the energy at the top of the head. Exhale, blow all the air out of your nose. A little bit of a wiggle on the exhale, coming deeper into the body. This time, take an even deeper inhale through the base of your spine and really pull the perineum up this time. And this time I'm going to have you contract your lower abdominal wall, pulling through the belly, perineum up, contract your upper abdominal wall as you're pulling along the back of the spine, keeping those muscles contracted, perineum up the whole time, pulling through the heart, the throat, the brain. Hold it at the top of the head. And we're going to pump the perineum. So just using your attention, your awareness, place your awareness on your perineum and pull the perineum up. So pull the perineum up, pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. So you're pumping, keep going. You're pumping your perineum. And this causes an internal pressure, and this pushes the cerebral spinal fluid against the pineal gland. This starts to compress those calcite crystals, activating the pineal gland. If you're not sure that you're doing it right, just do your best. Your best is enough. Exhale. Blow all the air out of your nose. Okay, we're going to go again. This time I want you to really pull it in. So breathe in a little bit deeper, inhaling through the base of the spine, pulling the perineum up, contract the lower abdominal wall, contract the upper abdominal wall, pulling through the belly, through the chest, through the throat, all the way through the brain. Hold it at the top of the head. And this time we're going to bring in the arms as a lever to help pump the pineal gland. So you can bring your arms together and you press down, and you're going to use the arms as a lever to pull the perineum up. Okay, so use the arms as a lever, pull the perineum up, and pump, 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 pump. Keep going. Keep going. I'm going to highlight Lisa. So notice how she's using the hands as a lever and she's pulling the perineum up, arms go down as she pulls up, and that helps to compress the pineal gland. Exhale, blow all the air out of your nose. Awesome job. Awesome job. A little bit of a wiggle on the exhale. And if you have no idea what's going on right now, or if you're not sure you're doing it right, just do your best. Just do your best and observe why the best might not be enough. Observe that. Your best is always enough. Your best is always enough. Okay, let's go again. Deep, deep inhale this time. Really pull it in. So pulling through the base of the spine, through the first center, pulling the perineum up, through the second center, contract the lower abdominal wall, pulling through the third center, contract the upper wall, pulling through the heart, holding the perineum up the whole time, keeping those muscles contracted the whole time, pulling through the throat, through the brain, all the way through the top of the head, and hold it. Hands together and pump. Pump. We're going to highlight Lisa one more time. Keep pumping, go after it, go after it, go after it. Pump, 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 pump. And exhale, releasing all the air from the body. Let it all go. Deep inhales, deep exhales, relaxing the body. We're going to put some sound on. So this is your last chance to join us on Zoom. We are going to stop the live stream now. We're going to put some music on and begin the process of connecting and creating in the field. Deep inhales, deep exhales, noticing what's shifted, what's changed. Deep inhales, deep exhales, noticing the space that's opened up from doing the breath. Noticing the energy, the aliveness within the body. Noticing the shift. What's different? What aliveness, sensations do you sense inside and around your body? Take your attention to the center of your chest. Deep inhales through your heart, through your throat, through your brain. Exhaling, sinking deeper into the body. What aliveness, energy do you sense in the middle of your chest? What energy, sensations, electricity do you sense inside the center of your chest as you inhale through your heart to your brain? Sensing, becoming aware of the energy. Feel it. Sense it. becoming more aware of the aliveness, the sensations, the subtle vibrations inside and around your chest. Take your attention to the space around your chest. Sense the aliveness, the energy around your chest. Feel it. Sense the space. Feel it. As you inhale through your heart to your brain. Heart to the brain. Becoming more aware of the energy, the space around your chest. Take your attention to the inside of your torso. Sense the space inside your torso. aliveness do you sense? Feel it. The energy, the space inside your torso. Becoming more aware of the aliveness, the energy, as you inhale through your heart to your brain. Heart to the brain. Sensing, feeling the energy, the aliveness, sensations inside your torso. Take your attention to your heart. Take a deep inhale through your heart to your brain. Breathing in the aliveness, the energy that you sense inside and all around you. Heart to the brain. Breathing in this energy to your heart, to your brain. connecting with your heart, drawing in this energy, this aliveness that's all around you and inside you. Breathe it in, heart to the brain. Deeper inhales, draw it in, the energy, the aliveness, love, gratitude, appreciation, heart to the brain, draw it in. Connecting with your heart. Connect, feel it, the energy, the aliveness. What are you deeply grateful for? What are you deeply appreciative for? What loved one, pet, memory? Visualize what you're deeply grateful for as you breathe in through your heart to your brain. Heart to the brain. Connecting with your heart. Gratitude, love, appreciation. Feel it as you inhale through your heart to your brain. What was that crystal clear intention? What is that future self version of you? Deep inhales through the heart to the brain. See it. Visualize it. Be it. Become it. Heart to the brain. What do you see? Feel it. You've got to feel it. Gratitude, love, bliss, ecstasy. Inhale the feeling through your heart, to your brain. Feel it. See yourself. How do you walk? How do you talk? How do you feel? Feel it. As you inhale through your heart to your brain, feel it. Celebrate it. Celebrate it as you see it. What do you see? Breathe it in through your heart. Heart to the brain. Smell it. Hear it. What does it sound like? What does it feel like? Inhaling through your heart to your brain. Gratitude, bliss, love. Breathe it in through your heart to the brain. See yourself. Become it by feeling it. You've got to feel it. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep inhale through your heart. Gratitude. Feel it. Gratitude. Exhale, peace. Deep inhale through your heart, gratitude. Exhale, peace. Deep inhale through your heart, gratitude. Feel it as you inhale it through your heart, gratitude. For having received. Receive it. Exhale, peace. Without breaking your state, stay in this energy. Stay in this energy as you move, as you walk, as you talk in your waking day. The meditation starts after the meditation. Hold this energy. You must be in it more than you are out of it for you to see results. We have to be in it more than we are out of it. The energy of our future selves. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for doing this 2-day masterclass with me. I had an absolute blast. I love meeting you guys, talking, connecting. Post in the Facebook group your experience. Post what shows up, what dissolves, what synchronicities, what divine timing, miracles, manifestations happen. We are also opening up meditation boot camp. So meditation boot camp, our newest round is opening up now. So it's open now. Pre-sale is 444 for the eight-week experience of meditation boot camp round two. So I'm very excited for round 2. Round 1 has been an incredible success, massive success. So I'm very excited about round 2. So it's pre-sale 444 for the 8-week experience. I will post it in my stories on Instagram. So go to my stories to read more about it. Click on my profile picture to do that. And I will see you guys on the inside. So if you know you want in, message me and I can help you get in. And I'll see you on the inside, or I'll see you on social media. Thank you. See you guys next time. Bye.